Hi, hello, very good evening one and all. Welcome to the most comprehensive preparation platform for all competitive exams, BYJU'S Exam Prep. And warm welcome to the NIELIT 2023 crash course. All dear friends, join the session quickly and mark your presence. Please confirm my visibility and audibility is clear or not in the chat box. Those who have joined, please confirm, am I visible and audible clearly or not in the chat box? Good evening, Muskan Priyadarsini. How are you all doing? Hi, Manishankar Tiwari. All clear? Superb, superb. Yes, today we are going to discuss the object-oriented programming concepts, in which we will be focusing today on class, object, method, constructor and polymorphism. Of course, encapsulation. So on these concepts we will be focusing today. Before I start the session, let me introduce myself quickly. I am Satya, research scholar with 15 plus years of teaching experience. I have mentored more than 40,000 students all over India in the GATE and PSU categories. Myself qualified in GATE, UGC NET, SET and also certified by Cisco into networking and programming. This is quick brief about me, dear friends. Hi Deepak, hi DRS Edits. Manishankar, I think I did not get, please ping me again. Okay. Chalo, or I might not have seen, please ping me again. Yeah, so what we are going to learn today? We are going to learn the object-oriented programming concepts of class, object, method, constructor, not inheritance. Inheritance we discuss tomorrow, in the next class, and polymorphism. But instead we will discuss about encapsulation. Okay. Right. Now to start with, first, what is object oriented programming? All dear friends, please give your idea about object oriented programming in the chat box. What is actually the object oriented programming? Muskan Priyadarsini, on your research topic there will be questions. What base papers you have referred, what are the findings you have made, and what is your proposed topic, what is your domain. So regarding that, regarding your research topic, there will be questions in the PhD interview. And you please carry the base papers that you have referred, and they should be in the Scopus journals. They should be published in Scopus journals, IEEE, elsewhere, etc. Okay, fine. So guys, I am asking you all, what is your idea about object oriented programming? Let's see. Object oriented programming, it is a methodology or paradigm to design a program using classes and objects. So if we are using the concept of classes and or objects in our program, that is, we say, object oriented programming approach. Sir, C language is object oriented? No. C language is called procedure oriented programming language. In C programming, the focus is on solving a task but not on the data access. In C language, data is open for all. You can access any data directly within that block. In any method you can, any function you can access the data. But in Java or in object oriented programming, the idea is data is secured. We can't access the data as we want. The data is not open for all. The data is inside a logical entity called class. It's like a logical box. Data is not open. So, if you want to access data, you have to access it through object only. That is why we call it as object-oriented programming. What is the advantage of it? It simplifies software development and maintenance by providing some concepts such as object, class, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, and encapsulation. So these are what the concepts which made a programming as object-oriented programming. So these are the concepts we refer as OOPS concepts. OOPS concepts. Okay. Now, what are object-oriented programming languages? If you observe, we have two categories: pure object-oriented, hybrid object-oriented. What is the difference? Pure object-oriented languages, as you see the list here: Eiffel, Actor, Emerald, Jade, Obix, Ruby, Python, Scala, Smalltalk, etc. These are all referred as pure object-oriented programming languages. Why? Here you can access data only through object. Data access through object only means here object is mandatory in pure object-oriented languages. And when you take hybrid object-oriented languages, object is optional, means either through object or without object. It is possible to access data with object, without object. As you see, Java is not pure object-oriented, guys. We have facility to access data without object also in Java. Those who are good in Java programming, they know. CPP, however, not pure object-oriented. In the same way, the other languages, as you see the list, they are also not pure object-oriented. And one important point is the first pure object-oriented programming language is referred as Smalltalk. It is what treated as the first pure object-oriented programming language. Please remember this, Smalltalk. And hybrid object-oriented languages support procedure-oriented approach also. Means without object also we can access data. Exactly Deepak. Yes, you are correct. Okay. Now, for better understanding, I select Java programming language to discuss our object-oriented programming concepts. We can discuss through any language, but for better understanding, for easy understanding, I am selecting Java language to explain these OOPS concepts. So what is this Java? Java was developed by Sun Microsystems. Now it is taken over by Oracle. So you can say Oracle. But actually speaking, when Java was invented, the organization named was Sun Microsystems. In 1995, Java was written. And who written it? James Gosling. So James Gosling along with his team developed Java programming language. So he is treated as father of Java. And before Java, the actual name of Java was Oak. What was the name of Java? Oak. But on the name Oak, there is already a registered organization. Hence, to avoid name conflict, later James Gosling changed the name from Oak to Java. So this is just quick history of Java programming language. And whenever you understand or learn Java programming, it is definitely needed to know at least some idea, to get some idea about these three: JDK, JRE, JVM. Java Development Kit, Java Runtime Environment, Java Virtual Machine. Let me write them. Java Development Kit. In the NIELIT kind of exams, we may expect full forms also sometimes. So better know these full forms. Java Runtime Environment, and Java Virtual Machine. As you see here from this picture, it is very much evident, very much understandable that JDK is a superset. So JDK includes this JRE, JVM. So JDK provides the development tools to compile, to interpret, to debug, to execute. So if you want to execute your program starting from the compilation, and you want the environment or the console to type your program, to prepare your program, then you want to build or you want to load packages, you want to compile, you want to debug, you want to execute, for all these JDK is what required for you. So JDK is complete Java environment. Especially for execution purpose, you can say JRE, Java Runtime Environment. In that name only it is there. And what this Java Runtime Environment consists of? Java API, Java class library. Like how we have header files in C programming language, kind of languages, in the same way in Java we are having a library of classes, interfaces. We call that set of classes and interfaces as package. What? Set of classes and interfaces, what we call as package. Like this, definitions guys, very important. And set of packages is what you say library or API. API. What API means? Application Programming Interface. And JVM, this helps for generating the compiled code, or we say byte code. What is byte code? It is platform independent compiled code. Platform independent intermediate code. Byte code means what? Platform independent intermediate code. C language compiled code, if you look at, that is platform dependent compiled code. Means on which platform you compiled, on the same platform you are supposed to execute. On which operating system computer you compiled, on a similar operating system, on the same operating system computer, means it need not to be the same computer, but operating system need to be same 32-bit operating system or same 64-bit operating system. On the same configured computer you can run. If you take the compiled code and want to execute on a separate platform, then C language does not support. That's why C we call as platform dependent. But Java is not like that. Java program, whenever you compile, it generate platform independent code. Means on Unix or Linux kind of operating system computer, you have compiled and you have got .class file. That .class file you can take on Windows operating system computer, load it and run there. So on one OS you can compile, on another OS you can run. This is what we say platform independent. So Java create what? Platform independent intermediate code. This is why we call it, the name of it is what? Bytecode. Okay. Then quickly let us revise what are the data types we have in Java. Like every language provides some data types. Java also has data types. It's not exactly as C language. What data types we have in C, they are also available in Java, but some more added. These data types, what these data types define? How much memory is needed for a variable, what kind of values accepted, what values accepted means range of values accepted, right? Here also the same meaning. Data type provide, specify different sizes, values that can be stored in the variable. And what are the data types classification? Primitive, non-primitive, which is very common, or primary, secondary, or basic, derived. You can use the same terminology, no issue. And what are primitive data types? Boolean, char, byte, short, int, long, float and double. So these 8 are called primitive data types. And what are non-primitive data types? Classes, interfaces, arrays. Classes, interfaces, arrays. A fully abstract class is what we say interface. We will see that in the other classes, in the other sessions, we will discuss it. Okay, please remember this. What are primitive, what are non-primitive? And as you see, the size, it is very much evident. Byte, 1 byte, char, 2 bytes, int, 4 bytes, long, 8 bytes. Java data types has the little different sizes. Okay, now, as every language restricts some words usage as the name, even in the Java also we have the similar keywords. What are keywords? Whose name, whose meaning or whose purpose is predefined. So these are reserved words. Like in C language we have 32 keywords. Similarly in Java programming language 48 keywords are there as per the standard edition. They may be added also, or some may be removed because it's a continuous process. But as per the standard edition, we can say there are 48 keywords in Java, as you can see this list. And most of the C keywords still exist in Java also. Not all, but most of them still exist. And you can see struct, union, go to, you don't find here, because structures are replaced with classes in Java. Class is similar to structure of C programming language. So you don't find struct here, you don't find union here, you don't find go to. Go to is for some other reason go to is removed. Okay, and is it required to remember all these keywords, sir? Exactly not. Because if you practice Java programming, automatically we will be able to remember, yes, we will be able to identify, yes, we are writing this in small letter every time, so it's a keyword, and for this purpose we are using it, so it's a keyword. In that way, mostly if you practice programming, most of these words we will identify, we will be able to remember as keywords. Okay. Now to start object-oriented programming concepts, OOPS concepts. Firstly, object. What is object? The general meaning of object is which is something, like a pen is an object, table is an object, right? Some bottle is an object which has both state and behavior. Similarly, here what is an object? Object is defined as instance of a class, means variable of a class. In a simple terminology to say, what is object? When class is data type, its variable is object. Like int is data type, int x when I write, x is a variable of type integer we say. In the same way, object is a variable of what data type? Class data type. So you can say an object is like variable of a class, instance of a class, representation of a class. And an object contains address as it takes some space in memory. In Java, for what memory is allocated? On the name of object memory is allocated, not on the name of class. Class is logical, dear friends. For class, memory is not allocated. For object, memory is allocated. Class is virtual, logical box. It's a concept. So, which has physical existence in the memory? Object has physical existence in the memory. And it is possible that one object can communicate with another object provided their type of message, type of response, they should match. So there are some rules. Following those rules, we can establish the communication between one class object and another class object also. And how do we create object? Class name space object name. This, if you write, object exists, object gets created, but memory will not be allocated. Memory will not be allocated. Whenever you write class name space object name, object gets created, but memory will not be allocated. But without memory, how our data gets stored? When data doesn't store, how we perform operations? How we get the results? So memory is mandatory. So how to allocate memory? Java by default supports dynamic memory allocation, dear friends. In C language, we have to explicitly do that with malloc, calloc, realloc or free functions. But in Java, it is by default. By default, memory gets allocated at runtime. Whenever needed, memory gets allocated. Whenever we are not using that memory, automatically it is garbage collected. So Java is by default dynamic in memory allocation. But to do that, to trigger that dynamic memory allocation, we will use one keyword called new. So in Java kind of programming languages, for allocation of memory, which keyword is used? New keyword is used. How? Class name space object name is equal to new constructor. What is constructor? We will discuss. So this is the syntax. This is the syntax. Example, if class is A, object is OB, I write A space OB, then object is created, but no memory is allocated. But without memory, what is the need of object existence? What is the use? So if object, for object memory is needed, we write like this: AOB is equal to new A. Now for this object OB, memory allocate. Object name can be any identifier. It is not required you have to name it as OB only. You can name any valid identifier. You can give any valid name. Okay. Pinky, sir, NIC syllabus as it is CSE type for ECE branch. Yeah, syllabus is same for both all the eligible candidates. There is no branch specific syllabus. Common syllabus is there, but don't worry, Pinky. In that also digital logic, COA, analog, electrical engineering, probability and stats, aptitude, means almost around for 60 marks. Still ECE students can feel comfortable. Maybe 3 or 4 more subjects if you can prepare from CSE domain, you will be able to easily get through this exam. Okay, don't worry. Right. Now, what is class? Class is like blueprint. Class is like blueprint, or class is the collection of data members and member functions. What the general definition we can say class means? It is the collection of data members and member functions. Data members means simply to say variables. Member functions means methods. So in the class, generally what we have? Variables, methods. It is similar to structure, dear friends. It is similar to structure. So in C language, we have structure. Similar to that, similar I am telling, not same, similar to that class in object oriented languages. But there are differences. I am not telling both are same, they are similar in the syntax. Difference is like in structure you can't define function, but in class you can define function, you can define methods. It's a very big and important difference. And for creating structure we use struct keyword. For creating class we use class keyword. Like how structures can have variables, class also can have variable, which is what we call as object, isn't it? And in C we have pointers concept, but in Java object itself is like a pointer. So there is no need of pointers in Java. Okay, coming back to this. So how you can define class? It is collection of objects. It is logical entity. Other definition, it can also be defined as blueprint, from which you can create individual object. And please remember, class does not consume any space. So for class, memory is not allocated. For object, memory gets allocated. If you understand structure, understanding class is very simple, because the nature is similar to that. Okay, and what a class can have? A class can have variables, methods, constructors, block of code, and nested classes. Nested classes are not supported in every object oriented language. There are limitations. And what is method? In Java, method is like a function. Like you can say it's another name for function. And what is the need of use of writing methods? code reusability, code optimization. You can write the code once and use it any number of times, and so that the code will be optimized. With less code you can perform big tasks and you can make data secured. There are many things. Java is not simple, guys, to learn in one class or 2-3 classes, but here we are for NIELIT exam purpose. So before I write anything or before I give you anything, any bit, any question, you are supposed to know about this. That's why, that is what the intention to discuss all this. Okay, so how do you write a method? How do you define a method? As in function, return type, name of the method, arguments of the method, parameters, and body. Similar to functions, guys, like void, m1, int x, system.out.print, x. If you observe, it is similar to function. Of course, in C we use printf, here we use this. Here system out. What these are? System is the name of the class. Out is the name of the object. Print is the method defined inside this system class. So this is the hierarchy. Class name, object name, method name. Similarly, like how you have out object, we have in object also for dynamic input. You can use byte stream reader or scanner class. There we write system.in, means through in object you can take input. Okay. Now, how the Java program generally we write? So, you remember Java, in Java, any code you write inside the class only. You will not write any code outside the class. Every statement in Java language you will write inside the class only. C++ is different. C++ is different. It is like mixture. C features you see, like C style you see, Java style you see. But Java, you remember, any code you have to write inside the class only. And you can write as many classes as you want, like this. So class, class name, in the block, you define variables and methods. In that way, you can have any number of classes, provided you definitely should write one class where main method exists, where main method is defined. If you want to write only one class, no problem. In that only you define main method. No issue. But you want to write many classes, no problem. But at least there should be, one class must be there that include main method. And what is the signature of main method in Java? How to write main method? Like void main we write in C language, here also void main. But before that, we have to include some access modifiers. Public, static. What these mean, we will discuss in the next other class. Whenever I discuss keywords like this, super, final, then I will discuss this public static means what. And here string is the class name. There is a class called string, followed by XYZ is object. So this is for taking your inputs. In the form of set of characters. As a character array, inputs are accepted in Java also. We know character array is called string, as a string is the existing class, predefined class. In that way we have to create. This is the syntax or general way to write Java program, guys. My usage, sir, give me some resources to practice MCQs to crack NIELIT written examination. See, the best resource is ISRO PYQs, NIELIT PYQs, GATE PYQs. But GATE PYQ means previous year questions. 1 mark level, GATE 1 mark level questions, ISRO previous questions, and NIELIT previous questions. These are available free in the online source. And for GATE questions, you want previous questions or GATE level questions, our BYJU'S Exam Prep test series, mock test is definitely referred because they will be helpful to crack NIC exam. Okay? So here let me write an example program, guys. Class A int I is equal to 10 void m1 system dot out dot print hello. Okay, int m2 return x multiplied by not x, I know, I multiplied by I. Class is over. So what I have defined in class? One data member, one variable, and two methods I have defined. Now I am writing the main class, class B. What is main class means? Where you write public static void main. Here in the main method you have to create the object, because without object you cannot access. So I am creating an object A OB is equal to new A. Now I would like to print I value. I is the member of class. Which class? A class. You cannot access something inside A directly. Through its object only you can access. What is its object? OB. So you can access like this: system.out.print ob.I. Similarly, I would like to call m1 function, m1 method, but it is a member of A. So you have to access it through its object. So ob.m1. Similarly, m2, let's say int x is equal to ob.m2, system.out.print x. Main method I am closing, class B I am closing. So this, if you compile, let us say its program name is, let's say this I am saving as first.java. First.java. Whenever you compile, in C language we say object code gets created, but here byte code gets created. How? For each class, class file gets created. How many classes we have? 2 classes. So you will have a.class, b.class. 2 class files gets created. 2 class files gets created. If you have 100 classes, for every class, class file gets created. And then whenever you run this program, Execution starts from main method as usual. So OB gets created, object gets created. Through that object we are printing I value. So you will get 10 ob.I. So you will get 10, and you are calling M1 method. So you will get hello, and you are calling M2. So it is returning 10 into 10 100, and that you are storing in X and then printing X. So you will get 100. So if you compile this and execute, this is what the output you get. 10 hello 100. Okay. Abhishek, ISRO scientist, scientist B, scientist D. You get ISRO previous questions, you will automatically understand. But ISRO syllabus is little different from the NIELIT. Means what subjects you have in NIELIT, they are definitely there in ISRO. NIELIT has some more. So you want those syllabus questions also, you have to refer UGC net previous questions. UGC net previous questions of your branch. Okay. Sure. Now, constructor. What is constructor? It is similar to method. But the difference between method and constructor is, method name is any valid identifier, but constructor name should be class name. Okay, see this. In Java, constructor is a block of code similar to method. It is called when object is created. As you see, I have written this for memory allocation. Here A is the class name, but this is similar to calling a method, but method name is also A. So this is called constructor. So a method whose name is same as class name, that is called constructor. And at the time of calling constructor, memory is allocated because you are using the new keyword. So for the object memory allocation, this is the way. And constructor, the name itself says it will create a healthy or a what we say environment to execute your program. It constructs, it builds your class. And for this constructor, there are 3 rules. These are important for NIELIT exam. Remember, constructor name must be same as class name. Constructor cannot have return type. Method will have return type, void, int, whatever. But constructor no return type. And for constructor, you can't apply the keywords what? Abstract, static, final and synchronized. These 4 keywords are not accepted to apply for constructor. Okay. I'll give one example. Class A, okay, void M1, system.out.println hi, A, system.out.println hi. You see, M1 A, I have almost written in the same way, in the same manner I have defined both the methods. But as you see the difference, 2 differences you can clearly observe here. Here name of the method is M1. If not M1, you can write any other valid name. But here name of the constructor is same as class name. Class name is A, so constructor name also should be same. This is the first difference you can see. Second difference, I have written return type for the method. It returns nothing, no specific type. But you can't write any return type for constructor. Two differences clearly you can observe here. Omigo, there is time to discuss them. We will discuss later. Not everything in a single class. But both print high only. How? If you want to invoke method M1, let's say class B, where I am writing public static void main, okay, and here let's say I am creating an object for AOB. So at the time of creating an object, by default a constructor is created, a constructor is invoked. This is called default constructor without parameters. There are no parameters. It is called default constructor. And you can have parameters also in the constructor, like how method is having parameter. That is called parameterized constructor. In C++, there is another constructor called copy constructor. And there are destructors in C++, but in Java there are no destructors. I will give one table in the next class or the other class. I will give the differences between C++, Java, if possible with C also. They may be useful for you to answer some questions in the NIELIT. Okay? And so here A method is directly invoked while creating an object, but M1 explicitly you have to call as ob.m1. ob.m1. But both print the same output, or you want different code, different statement, you can write. Let's say I am writing hello in constructor, hi in method, then you will get what output? Hello first, then hi. Because constructor is invoked while creating an object, then through object you are invoking the method. So first you will get the constructor output, then method output. I think this difference is clear for everybody. Constructor, method are similar, but constructor will have same as class name, no return type. Method can have any name except class name, and it must have return type. Okay? And then polymorphism. What is polymorphism? Polymorphism, one in many forms, one performed in many ways. If one task is performed in different ways, that is called polymorphism. It is possible, right? There is no need of explanation. One task we can do in many ways, right? Suppose I am teaching OOPS concept. I am teaching in this way. I have started and I am going in one flow. First I have discussed class, then object, then class, then method, then constructor. And some other faculty might teach in a different order. Some other faculty might teach you on the board. Some other faculty might teach you directly physical class. But everywhere what is taught? Same OOPS concepts are taught. Means one task performed in many ways. So it is called polymorphism. And for you to understand in a simple way, see, if it's me, I am student for my teacher. I am student for my teacher. I am teacher for my students. I am son to my parents. And I am father for my children. And I am an employee for my employer, BYJU'S Exam Prep. 1. Playing multiple roles. In this way also you can understand polymorphism. But in programming, what is polymorphism? Means if one task you do in many ways, that is called polymorphism. And how you achieve polymorphism in Java? This is important point. You may get it as a question. How to achieve polymorphism? Method overloading, method overriding. There are two ways to achieve polymorphism: method overloading, method overriding. And encapsulation. This is another OOPS concept. Encapsulation means you are grouping or placing, binding, wrapping code and data together. Data and code using that data, both are placed in one sealed pack. That is called encapsulation. See, you take a capsule which is having multiple medicines, but all are wrapped in a cover, the capsule cover, isn't it? And in Java, what is encapsulation implementation? Class. Class is the best example for encapsulation, because what we write in class? Data members like int x I have written, char y I have written, void m1 I have written, int m2 I write. So this is data member and this is code. Data and code you have placed in one single block. So this is class. So this is what encapsulation says: binding data and code together. Got it? Okay. See this question and try to answer. Which concept of Java is achieved by combining methods and attributes into a class? Just now we have discussed it. Which concept of Java is achieved by combining methods and attributes into a class? In a class, methods are there, attributes are there. So what is that? Encapsulation. Okay. In Java, objects are passed as copy of that object, method called call by value, memory address, constructor. How objects are passed as? I told for object only memory gets allocated. So objects are passed as memory address. How objects will be passed in Java? Memory address, as an address. I told objects are replacement for pointers. You can take in that way. In C language, pointer is there. What pointer means? Nothing but address. Similarly, in Java, object means address only. Okay? Which component is used to compile, debug, execute Java program? JDK, JVM, JRE, JIT. JIT means just in time, which is the name of the compiler. So which component is used to compile, debug, execute Java program? my usage JVM, you may be able to compile, but execution is not possible only with JVM. You require JDK. JDK, dear friend. Okay? JDK. That include runtime environment so that you can execute, because class library is there. Compiler with JIT and JVM collaboration, compilation is possible, linking is possible, and it provides a platform to type the source code, to input the code. So JDK can make a user to perform all these activities. Yes, JDK is the superset. Exactly. A single program of OOPS contains how many classes? Only one class, 999 classes, 100, any number. A single program in object-oriented programming can contain how many classes? Let me say can contain. Can contain how many classes? Yes, any number of classes, definitely. There is no limit for that. There is no limit for that, but minimum is one class. Minimum is one class, but there is no max limit. Okay? Right. Which operation from the following can be used to illustrate the feature of polymorphism? This you might not know. If somebody know, you can give the answer. If somebody know, can give the answer. If not, remember how it is. I'll discuss in the other class. If anybody know the answer, can give, or remember this less than, this you can use to illustrate or explain the feature of polymorphism. We can use this. This is called insertion operator. In C++ we use this. Insertion operator. Okay, fine. So that is what for today class. I believe you got some idea, or you have recalled the known concepts of Java with this class, and how the questions may be. I have given some example questions. On Wednesday, we will be discussing inheritance. Along with inheritance, I will try to discuss some other concepts like abstraction, package, overloading, overriding, and if some other concepts possible, we will try to discuss. Thank you, my usage. Thank you so much. Keep attending. I hope I have explained the things in your understandable manner. Keep attending, keep learning, keep growing, guys. This is the Telegram group and Instagram group links or names. You can just search and find my Telegram group links and join to connect with me. That's all for today. Thank you so much for joining the session. Please do like, share and subscribe to our BEP channel, and also enable the notifications bell icon. See you in the next session. Till then, have a great time. Take care. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you.